Well, you've seen the UK Makaton Blessing, and it's amazing. What a blessing. It's been viewed by over 46,000 people, and it really touches your heart. And we're here with Becky George, the person behind it all, to find out what's the story behind the UK Makaton Blessing.
Hiya, my name's Becky George. Welcome to our Makaton UK Blessing.
Thank you, firstly, so much for making the Makaton Blessing. I mean, it really is a real blessing to watch. And I watched the other videos, and that was that kind of warmed my heart. But there was something really special about the Makaton Blessing. Why is it that you're so passionate about Makaton?
I think because it very simply helps to support everyone's understanding of some quite difficult concepts, whether you have been to church before or whether you hear it in the background. There's words that we use that sometimes people think, I don't really know what that means. Maybe resurrection, something that is quite a difficult concept for us to understand. And so with Makaton, we're signing in a bit more of a gestural way. So the sign is basically emphasizing something which might be harder to understand. So love, for example, is used quite a lot because we know that there is a lot of love that we talk about in lots of concepts. And because I have seen how some people have responded to sign in a very different way to how they respond to the words, and they might not be someone who has a communication difficulty or a learning difficulty, just the fact that actually they've seen someone do the sign for love and they understand, what this person is talking about love or loving someone, because they've had another kind of visual prompt to reinforce that as well.
I remember you did a Bible reading for us at church after we've moved online, and one of the things I was quite struck by was just how it kind of emphasized what you were saying. It kind of it almost added another layer to what you were saying, and so thank you for that.
And 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May His favor be upon you, and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children.
What was it about the UK Blessing that you thought, I need to make a Makaton version of this?
I think, like you said, it touched so many people's hearts, that song. I don't think I spoke to any of my friends who hadn't heard it, whether they were Christians or not. It was everywhere. And I think in the current climate that we're all in, it did bless people, it touched people. And I just knew that if I was to sign it in Makaton, it would just add another element to it. A bit like you just said with the reading, when I sign a song, what I'm actually signing is the meaning of that song rather than maybe the words, the physical, translation. And I just knew it was going to help to then reach even more people. And I think that's the whole aim for Tim Hughes in the original song that he version of the blessing that he brought out.
Yeah, and it has. I mean, it's been watched by, I think it was 44,000 last time I checked, probably more than that now. But how do you do that then? How do you kind of go from thinking, okay, I'd like to do this, to creating a video like that with all those people? I mean, do you know all those people personally? How did you get to, how did you put it together?
So the joys of social media. I had put out the song signed on my YouTube channel, and I'd written in a post, join me. So film yourself, learn the song, or if you use Makaton, record yourself, send it in to me. And it was just Twitter, word of mouth, Facebook, how lots of people get information now. And it ended up being kind of this big project which just brought everyone together. We had adults in care settings, you know, the managers of care settings saying, we want to be involved in this, whether they were Christian based or not. We had children, we had siblings, we had adults that just wanted to learn something new. So there was a whole mix of people. But the way that I physically do it is how I just mentioned. I translate the song. So I think about, well, what is the meaning behind the words? And I sign those signs, so the meaning of the songs. And with Makaton, we don't sign every word. So BSL, British Sign Language, is a whole language in its own right. And so they sign in a different word order, whereas Makaton is used to support communication.
One of the things that you touched on there was just how diverse like the video was. What is it then about the kind of message of Christianity that lends itself to, or that unites such a kind of diverse range of people?
I think just knowing that we're all created in God's image. We've all got gifts, talents, skills, a way of life that we have been blessed with. And that is exactly kind of the purpose of the song, reminding us that the Lord has blessed us with all of these things, and that regardless of how we communicate, we are all here together, and we all have that kind of to love about life.
That's fantastic. Yeah, there's a wonderful scripture. In fact, we prayed just before I came and started recording it. From Psalm 139 that says, I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. That kind of picture of God saying, I've made you, and I've made you fearfully and wonderfully. And that's true of all of us, you know, no matter age, stage, background, any of that. It's wonderfully true. Yeah. And I thought that was beautifully kind of portrayed in the video. One last question for you then. So, you know, you're a Christian, you're part of our church, which is wonderful. Why do you think the news of Jesus is such great news for those who would use Makaton?
So again, knowing that we're always loved. We are loved by a God who is always there. But we don't have to use words. We don't have to communicate that with verbal language. We can show that we love or care or appreciate someone by not saying anything. And Jesus showed us that as well. You know, dying on the cross was one of the biggest ways he could show how much he loved us. And so reminding people of them being created in God's image, but also that we are created for a purpose, and that might be to help to teach other people, but just knowing that you are always loved and accepted for who you are.